Hi everyone, my name is Anastasia and today I want to do this, I think, fun and interesting video, and I want to tell you about Dutch people. I don't know if maybe you're interested to come here to the Netherlands, or you already been here and you just, want to remind yourself how it was here. Continue watching this video. I'm actually from Ukraine. I also lived in the United States, and so of course when I moved here I noticed some stuff that's so different about Dutch people and some stuff that are funny about them. So yeah, let's begin. So first thing I want to start with is that Dutch people are the most tolerant people that I've ever seen in my life, and I've been traveling a lot, and I don't know any other country where you could be truly yourself and nobody gonna give it anything about it. They're not judgmental or anything. If you're going naked outside on the streets, nobody is gonna tell you a word. And I actually saw a naked guy once, and everyone was like, just passing him. He was just doing his stuff. I don't know, was he crazy or was it a challenge or whatever? But yeah, and it's not only about being naked, it's about love who you want and dress how you want and look how you want, and like I really appreciate it about Dutch people. Second thing is every time you meet a Dutch person, you're just walking on the street and you saw the person, the greeting is gonna be 3 kisses, which is so awkward to me because in Ukraine we only do 1 kiss. In the United States, when I lived before, it's 2 kisses, and here it's like 3, and you actually, all that, like it just confuses me. Like sometimes I'm just like standing there, and that's what I'm doing most of the time. I'm just staying straight and I'm letting the person, do the 3 kisses, because I mean, if I'm just gonna do that, that's not gonna end up good. Third fact is, I don't know, it's probably not only about Dutch guys, it's about European guys at the moment, but on a date, probably if you're not gonna explain yourself and be like, yeah, I'm more into patriarchy kind of stuff, like you're probably gonna pay for your dinner, because basically these guys were raised by really independent and strong women, and so they believe that everything should be equal and everyone should pay for themselves. And this is a difference for me, and it's an interesting fact because I'm from Eastern Europe, and there it's completely not common for a girl to pay for herself. So that was interesting. But even though guys are not really willing to do that, I actually never paid for myself here, because probably I'm stating it in the beginning, I'm from Eastern Europe. Next fact is Dutch people, they don't use drugs as much as you probably think they are, because everyone knows that weed is legal here, but I actually don't know any Dutch person who would smoke weed like on a regular basis, or even they like to drink, so beer, hanging out and partying, and of course if they're techno fans, they probably would use something, but they don't really use weed. Yeah, only people who you can find in coffee shops are English or Italian tourists. Yeah, I feel like they're number one, they're top of this rate who comes here for that. But yeah, Dutch people mostly, they don't use drugs, and some people, they never even tried it in life, the people I know. Next fact that I want to tell you is Dutch people are sparing with diseases, which was so surprising to me, because you could never tell somebody in Ukraine something like you should have cancer, all that stuff, because that's a big deal, right? But here it's a normal thing. I know that a lot of people don't like that, but they still kind of use it because it's a common thing as, shit, for example, in the United States. Next fact is that Dutch people like bread a lot. I know that's not really super interesting and fun, but I don't know, they produce so much bread in the country. I feel like it's a small country, but I feel like they make more bread than probably in Italy or whatever, because they just love bread, and also they like bread with chocolate. They put chocolate sprinkle on top of the bread and they eat it. That was weird to me. Next fact is that here in the Netherlands, it's not really that necessary to tip the waiter because the salary is pretty good here. It is pretty rich country, and for example, in the United States, tipping culture is like you just have to, like, because the salary is probably like, I don't know, $8-7 an hour, and basically, you know, these poor waitresses, they making nothing, and so you have to tip for them to like help them survive, you know. But here salary is pretty good, so if you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, if you really like the food and the service was so excellent and it was a good restaurant, then yeah, you could, you know, but it's not necessary, you don't have to. Next fact is that Dutch people have their own Santa Claus, and they call it Sinterklaas, and basically this guy, Sinterklaas, he's coming to the city from Spain and he brings present, and he also had like a friend, you know, like Santa Claus has horses, or like Russian, Ukrainian, we call him grandfather cold. He will translate it in English, Ded Moroz is in Russian. He has a granddaughter and you know, little animal friends, but the Sinterklaas, he has Black Pete is the guy who's helping him bring presents, and basically this Sinterklaas situation is going on December 5th. So they have the Sinterklaas, and then they have New Year and Christmas, so a lot of presents for kids. Next fact is that Dutch people speak damn good English. Like, I personally already live in here for like more than a year, and I mean, I'm really trying to learn Dutch because I really like the culture and I like the country. I want to be more, you know, into this, but I still don't really speak, even though I understand a lot, and when people ask me stuff in Dutch, I understand everything, but I'm just so, you know, scared to answer, so I'm just answering in English, and there is no problem at all to not know the language in this country, because these people are masters. I mean, you will not find any other country in Europe with such a good level of English among people. Next thing I want to tell you is that Dutch people are super loud. Like Italians, you know, if you ever hang out next to Italian people, that's how Dutch people will be, because, you know, there is much more Italian people in the world than Dutch people, so you'll probably never think about it. But if you're outside somewhere, even like in a small cafe, like, you know, tiny with a couple of people, it's gonna be so loud that you're gonna feel like, you know, you're in a freaking huge venue with tons of people. Next fact is that here in the Netherlands there is no hierarchy, if I can say it like that. For example, I'm studying here, and teachers, they can be friends to you. For example, we have class, and then in the break, teacher can be like, does somebody want to have a coffee? Let's go together and grab it and talk about life. And you know, you don't have to call teacher like Mr. Peterson or whatever. It just Michael, it's just Lara, it just, you know, you just call them by name, and you can text them whenever you have a problem, even a personal one, they can really help you, which was also surprising to me, because in Eastern Europe you really have to treat teacher as somebody who's, you know, higher than you, and yeah, that was very nice. Fact number 12, they are tall people. They're so tall. My height is 165 centimeters or 2.4 inches, and I feel myself tiny here, like especially at the parties. Like, you're just looking up and everyone is higher than you. You can't see anything in front of you because these people are so high. And especially I felt it when I went to the concert of the Ukrainian artist, and so we came to this venue and I looked around and I realized people are like the same high as me. So basically, like, you know, I could see everything. It was so surprising because I'm so used to be like, you know, tiny and like look like that to see something, and they're truly the highest people in the world, and that's incredible. Fact number 13 is that it's really animal-friendly country, and even though I live in Amsterdam, just when I'm cycling I can see horses. Once I was going home at like 5 a.m. in the morning and I saw so many bunnies on the streets, like at least 10. They were like, you know, jumping around. It was so funny because, you know, it is a city, like you would never see anything like that. In New York, for example, you can only see rats there, right, at night, but here you can see horses, bunnies. In this, I think it's very nice. Fact number 14 is that if you're sick, you gotta help yourself, because I know that even in other European countries the health system works completely different. If you have a cold, you're gonna be prescribed antibiotics or at least something, you know. Here, if you're sick, you're just gonna be, doctors are gonna tell you something like, we recommend you to get some paracetamol 3 times a day and just drink some tea, and that's it. And if you need like a real help, you have to come second time and be like, excuse me, I'm gonna die. And it's gonna be your responsibility if you're not gonna, you know, prescribe me to go to a real doctor, because you can't just go to, I don't know, somebody like the doctor who's treating, you know, nose and ear. You have to go to regular therapist first, and then this therapist can, you know, kind of tell you, yeah, you can go to, you know, real doctor. And it works completely different in Ukraine. Like if you feel sick, you just go into, you know, the doctor that you need. And yeah, so also when I was back from the United States and I got a really strong cold, I had a fever around like 40 degrees, and I went to the doctor and they were telling me, yeah, you have to take paracetamol. And I was just so shocked, even though like I'm insured and all this stuff. Like I don't care, because I just think you're gonna be good on your own, your body can fight it. And the last fact that I want to tell you today is that Dutch people are so healthy, and that's what makes them live very long time. People life expectancy here around 80-85 years, and it's pretty understandable because like outside on the streets you can see a lot of older people who are like cycling, running, walking with their dogs, you know, enjoying life. It's not a, you know, a big deal to see a grandmother in the gym. I think this is incredible that, you know, they have such a healthy lifestyle, and so they can enjoy their life for a lot of years. And I think it's a good example for young people, especially at the times like we have now with all the drugs, you know, and stuff. So that was it. That was my 15 facts about Dutch people. Let me know if somebody surprised you when you were here, or something else that you would like to know about Dutch culture or Dutch people. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon.